It is the unshakable realization that we're all capable and worthy of thriving. We have the capacity and we can serve each other in that way. When I'm thriving, then you're always going to get the best version of me.
Hello, good morning, Baskhar. How are you?
Good morning, dear Danny. I'm so happy to be with you.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Each time I talk to you, I get so many inspiration. And so today I am going to talk with Baskhar, and we're going to go to another field. In my last interview with him, he was telling us about his life, the struggle he went through, his illness, how he came out with yoga teaching. He's a coach. He has been on his very spiritual path since he was young, nearly. And now he passed to another level that I think we all need these days. And he's going to talk to you about that. And it's mainly how to come out of emotional suffering. So we really need to know about that. So Baskhar, tell us what all this means and how we do it.
To set the broader context, if I may, we're all looking to thrive in life, to prosper in the experience of life. And the yoga practice has helped me a lot in many, many dimensions, gross and subtle. Essentially, we want to have, at a physical level, we want to thrive. We want to have a body that is not aching and paining, hanging and, weak in some way. So the body's not causing suffering or is not a distraction to our enjoyment. The physical yoga practice, of course, has helped me tremendously with that. We also want to thrive in terms of vitality. Nobody wants to feel tired, enervated, exhausted all the time. And certain breathing practices and nutritional practices primarily are extremely good for looking after vitality. So we feel like a cell phone is fully charged all the time, and not worried about running out of battery. So the yogic practices help a lot with that. We're also looking to thrive mentally. So many of our suffering from a disease called thinkalitis. We just spend all our time
I love
thinkaholics.
it.
Too much thinking. We
Yeah,
can't
too
stop the
much.
hamster from spinning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we definitely want to have mental thriving experience, which is to calm the mind down. And certainly the meditation practices help so much to just calm the mind down and to just be with reality as it is. And another realm that we're looking to thrive in, so we're moving from suffering to thriving, is our emotional terrain. We want to, all living beings, they want to experience pleasant emotions. Nobody wants to feel the tightness and the heaviness and the darkness that we go through. So that's what I'm really focusing on now as well, including everything else, is to how to come out of this emotional suffering. And that's what I've been practicing and teaching primarily for the last little while.
Last little while. Okay. And how did because last time we talked together, we had that great interview. We never talk about that. So how did this come out in your mind and spirit and soul to start this this teaching?
It's my teacher used to say that if you just do the physical practice, this is what's called the flexible misery, which is your flexible body, but you haven't done the more subtle, deeper work.
Exactly.
And as my story from last time showed, that I still had some way to go because of the suffering I experienced, the overwhelm, and so on. So that allowed me to just be more curious, as to what happens, and of course great teachings and courses that I've done along the way. And what a simple way to express this notion is to realize that in every living moment we are inhabiting three realities. So right now you, Danny, are experiencing three realities. There is the objective reality, which is you looking at a screen with my face on it and the room and the beautiful paintings behind you, all the objective stuff around us. So the objective reality are things that happen to us, outside in, experiences,
Okay.
outside in. We do our best to navigate skillfully, but we don't really control it. Stuff just happens and we just try to adapt to it. We have no say over the objective world. A pandemic happens here, some fiasco, some conversation, some accident.
Yeah.
We know that the world just does what it does to us. So
Yeah.
the objective reality is really, frankly, outside our control. And we do our best to navigate through it. Then the second reality that we experience right now is the subjective reality. That is the world just under my skin, just under your skin, just under our dear viewer listener skin.
Yeah, just my
That's
reality. Yeah.
inside that, in that subjective world, we are experiencing a subjective world in four elements. We experience it in four elements. And those four elements are thoughts, images, emotions, body sensations. That's how we're experiencing the subjective reality. Thoughts, images, emotions, body sensation. For example, if somebody's angry, there's a thought, there's an image of the person behaving badly, there's the emotion of anger, and there's a body sensation that comes with it. If somebody's excited, same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Anxious, same thing. So all this thing, the subjective world essentially is how we are processing the objective world.
Okay.
And most people, I'm generalizing, it's an assumption, have really no grasp of the subjective reality. And also the experiential knowing that that subjective reality is 100% in our control. That is to say, it is 100% in the volition of our attention and our intention, which is the third reality. The third reality is the awareness behind the objective and subjective and the intention that you can cast on the subjective world. So this is how we can gain some mastery over the emotional terrain. Just the realization that I, as a conscious divine being with choice, you, as a conscious divine being with choice, have a full say over how we experience that subjective domain. To put it simply, what happens to us, we do our best. For what happens in us, we have full mastery over.
Yeah.
And the key to alleviating emotional suffering is just to firstly acknowledge that there is a subjective reality. So when I'm angry, it appears that I'm angry with that person. This person, such a mean fellow, such a bad person, did such a terrible thing to me. I'm focusing on the objective reality, but what's really causing me unpleasantness is a subjective reality. The thought, the image, the emotion, body sensation. The person could have come and done something nasty 10, 15 years ago, but I'm still carrying that resentment, that ill will, but there's nothing happening right now.
Yeah.
But that what we're suffering is happening inside of us. So this is the big breakthrough, is to realize that our real suffering is not out there, it's in here. And once we acknowledge that, now we can actually dance with it, play with it, and actually master that subjective experience. Yes, I know so many people who carry their trauma with them, something that happened such a long time ago, justifiable, most cases, justifiable. Yet it's like they're walking through life with a bag of bricks on their shoulder.
Totally.
It's very difficult to manifest what you want to truly manifest. Very difficult to really become the highest version of yourself with this bag of bricks behind you.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So another way to see it is like if you're driving a car, if you have one foot on the accelerator, which is where you want to go, and one foot on the brake, which is all the stuff you're carrying with you, you're just going to wear out the engine. So a lot of this is about alleviating that the trauma we've accumulated, so we can actually manifest with that lightness, that exuberance, and that openness. So this is the
it's, I understand exactly what you mean, because I lived it, we all live it, and it's a kind where we master inside. It's a kind of how we react. We always have choice of two reaction, which is resilience, accepting, or resisting. And the resisting is the worst, because it always come back. But so what do you do? Now you're going to tell us a little bit.
Sure.
What's your teaching, or what's the tools to help that?
Okay, very good. So when life jams up, when we're suffering emotionally, what's really happening is there is almost like an entity inside our body that's made up of these four elements: thought, image, emotion, body, sensation. So see it like an entity that is arising in our body. Okay. And that entity is creating some kind of contraction, some kind of heaviness, some kind of darkness, you know. Um, and the realization that this entity that's inside of us, it is literally in us, it is us.
It
It
is.
cares about me as much as I care about me. It's not there to harm me. It's not there to hurt me. I don't need to fix it. I don't need to avoid it. I don't need to numb it. It's like a pain, like if there's a cut on the skin and it's hurting, that's not there to hurt me. It's just there to tell me, hey, be careful. There's something happening here. So having the same sort of intention and approach towards emotional pain as well. It is just the body saying, hey, give me some attention. I have something to say, something important for you to understand. And then utilizing the power of our attention and intention. And this is not something that is mystical or beyond reach. Every human being has attention and intention. It's about giving this entity in our body the fullness of our attention and intention. It is revering it with the power of our attention and literally asking it, I know that you wish me well. I know that you want something for me to understand. Tell me what it is. And it's going to speak to us in those four elements of thoughts, images, emotions, body, sensation. And you keep listening, keep listening, keep listening until that entity that's inside of us has been completely revealed and its message has been completely understood at the subjective level. And once the message is delivered, then it served its purpose. So it's really about that old adage, which is right on point. You've got to feel it to heal it. So
Yeah, you really have got to feel it.
Yeah.
So, for the people listening to us, could you give, like, because me, that's the way I understand things, more than abstractively. For example, give us an example of one person or human being or yourself or living that trauma, or living this difficult emotion, then you go in your body. It's like you talk to your entity, huh? Do you talk to your entity, or what's exactly you do? Because
okay, it's great. So let me give you some examples. Many examples. Okay. I'll give you an example of this lady who in her youth, she experienced some abandonment issues. And in her current life, so something happened to her in her childhood that made her afraid of abandonment. So that same experience manifests inside of her in her current relationships, this fear of abandonment. And this fear of abandonment is essentially manipulating her behavior. It's such an unpleasant sensation that she's doing everything she can to avoid that sensation of abandonment. So through several processes that I run, and these processes are all very somatic and experience-based. I don't need to know the story. As long as the person can duplicate the experience, which is to relive it entirely and fully and vividly through the power of their attention, when they live it, then they connect with that entity called abandonment and really listen to it, what it has to say. And in the beginning, when we start a process like this, the charge, the experience, the intensity is like a 9 or 10 out of 10. It's extremely high charge. And after the process, it drops down to a 2 or a 3 or sometimes even 0. So now that charge can no longer overtake her outside her conscious will. Okay. And now she actually becomes a conscious being with choice. And what that means is when these entities have a lot of charge, a lot of energy, then they can overwhelm us. We become the anger, we become the anxiety, we become the fear, the abandonment, and so on. But when the charge drops down to like a 4 or a 5 or something, then you can actually see it. Danny doesn't become the anger. Danny doesn't become the frustration.
So you're not the anger. You're not the anger.
Not the anger. Exactly.
You look at your anger.
Just like I'm looking at this phone.
Okay.
I know by looking at it, I'm not the phone.
Yeah.
Observer, observing, observed. Once you have the ability to look at it without, with that observer, the objective and not a subjective thing, then you suddenly, it's not I am angry. It becomes, oh, there is anger. And as a conscious being with choice, you can actually choose. I'm supposed to feel angry right now, perfectly fine, or this is not appropriate. So I choose to feel joy. That kind of control is so powerful. It's so liberating, and I can give you so many examples. People with dependency issues, people with high level of resentment, people who feel a lot of regret and guilt. There's one lady. She had a very difficult relationship with her manager, her boss. Thought he was the devil himself, just really a horrendous person. And doing some of these internal practices, within 35 minutes, she had so much compassion for this man. Oh, the poor fellow, I just want to give him a hug. It's so powerful. And I
I
can give you so many
yeah.
examples because it's very effective. You get right down to the source. The source is not some story. The source is an actual, like an entity inside your body.
Okay, I understand. And it's so funny because inconsciently, that's what I've been doing for the last year.
Mm.
Not exactly. It's like whenever I have this uncomfortable feeling, it's because I meditate a lot too.
Mm.
I have not all the time, but sometimes, yes, I look at it and I say, okay, I have to choose. I accept it and it's not me. And I choose, as you say, instead of deciding to choosing to stay and yeah, but it did and na. I say no. I choose to go for the joy. I choose to go for some action. I choose to go to do things that I connect with and make me feel good.
Annie, you're an example of this. I totally cherish this in you.
Yeah.
This really is emanates from you in every way. It's a journey. It's a journey of self-discovery and inner work that got you here.
And a very, very, I would say, a very hard journey. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it does not mean like said, people say, oh, you're so happy. No, I tell you, it's work. And it's everyday work. Because even sometimes, it's so easy to fall back to,
Yeah.
the old pattern. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Because you rise up your vibration.
Exactly. So this is where people like me sort of like to come in and serve. When the vibration is low, in low consciousness, all you see are problems because you're so fixated by the objective reality of stuff happening to us. But when we raise our consciousness, basically change the perspective on how we're seeing it, then all you see are solutions.
Oh my God,
There's
it's
something beautiful
miracles.
there to learn. It's miraculous.
It's
So
honestly, you have miraculous stuff happening to you.
that's it. So the whole process is about really shifting how from where we're seeing it, and that completely changes how we're seeing it. And it's so powerful and so immediate. We don't have to suffer so much.
No.
It doesn't take very much to really connect with the subjective domain, change our perception, and listen to it. Really give it the attention of that is looking for. It's like a child that's crying. You
Yeah.
give it the attention. You don't silence the child or be harsh with it. You just, what is it, my dear? What is it that you want to express? Okay, no problem. Here, take it.
Yeah.
You know? And now what do you want? Okay, here, take it. And you keep giving what it wants at the
Yeah.
subjective realm.
Yeah.
So very often, and there's so many other, this is not just about coming out of suffering. It's also about, say you're doing perfectly fine, but you're looking to up level your life. Say
Yes.
you want more confidence. Say you're looking for more calmness. Say you're looking for something even higher. Well, these processes help as well. It's the same
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
It's happening at the subjective domain.
Yeah.
And you can up level beautifully. If
Yeah.
you're looking to up level your calmness or whatever it might be, there are processes that can really amp up that aspect, that entity inside yourself.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, all this is combined with keeping doing yoga or exercise or meditation and all. It's all a combination. So when you teach, how people can get in touch with you? People who want to do that,
Yes.
that course or whatever. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, I do private sessions. So
Okay.
it's my website is Radical Transformation Mentor. So it's for people who are
Okay,
looking
sorry, it's called
Radical Transformation Mentor. So for
Radical
people,
Transformation Mental
yes,
Mentor?
Mentor.
Like a
M-E-N-T-O-R.
mentor.
Mentor.
M-E-N-T-O-R. Okay.
And it's exactly that. For people who are looking to radically transform some aspect in their life, I give a free session first so they can see what the processes are like. And in that session alone, we work on the biggest charge in their life. So, and really tremendous things can happen in just that. So I'm looking for people who are looking to really up level, an aspect of their life. It could be anything. Maybe it's career, maybe it is family, maybe it is fitness, maybe it is spirituality, whatever it might be. If you're looking to experience something even higher and deeper, and then I bring in the entire toolkit of whatever they need, be it physical or breath work or meditation or just doing these deep guided processes. And it's the most incredible thing that this entity is perfectly capable of thriving. It has all the mechanisms in place. And it's just about knowing how to use where the key is and knowing how to use it.
Yeah, it's like anything. It's like I don't know, to use a computer or to use anything, you have to push. So you mean so let's say people who are listening to us and want to do change in their life, they have to go in Radical Transformation Mentor, Google that, and they find you?
Or they could just, my name, BaskharGoswami.com. They both are the same. So you can go to my name. Yeah.
Baskhar. It's Baskhar Gwozani, huh? Okay.
Goswami.com. Yes.
Gwozani.com. They can find you on Facebook too. They can find you many, many, many things. And last time I interviewed you and I was asking you what message you wanted to leave us, and it was so funny. I still remember, like you were saying that seriousness is a disease, so don't be serious. So today, 1 year later, what would you like to say? Because of course we change every day. So
it is the unshakable realization that we are all capable and worthy of thriving. We have the capacity, and we can serve each other in that way. When I'm thriving, then you're always going to get the best version of me. And there can be nothing better than that.
Exactly. So that means it serves not only to you, but it serves to the people around you, and it serves to the world around us. Huh?
Exactly right. Yes, dear.
Exactly. Great. So it was great, Baskhar. Always a pleasure to talk to you. You bring us such a good energy. And so people who are following Human Connection by Danny Ross, I hope you will love this interview. Don't forget to share it with your friend, your family, put little like and subscribe. Ciao.